I spent 40 years building a life for everyone else. I built a career, a home, and a reputation as the reliable one. I thought I was doing the right thing. But one quiet Tuesday morning, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. I realized the hardest truth of all: even your own shadow leaves you when you are in darkness. I had worked so hard to be needed that I had completely forgotten who I was without the work. I was tired, I was empty, and I realized I had been running in the wrong direction. I am not a guru, and I am certainly not a celebrity. I'm just a guy who spent decades punching a clock, paying bills, and trying to keep the peace. For years, I was the employee who never said no to overtime. I was the parent who sacrificed every hobby to drive the kids to practice. I was the friend who listened for hours on the phone but never shared my own burdens. My life looked full on the outside. I had the car, the modest house, and the family dinners. People looked at me and saw stability. They saw a rock. But inside, I was crumbling. I was running on fumes, fueled only by coffee and anxiety. I thought being a good person meant being exhausted. I thought love meant sacrifice without limits. I suspect many of you feel the same way right now, quietly carrying the weight of the world, hoping someone notices, but terrified to put the load down. You are working at your job to make a living, but you have forgotten to work on yourself to make a life. Society tells us a very specific lie. It whispers that if you just work hard enough, you will be happy. It tells us that if we are nice enough, people will treat us with the same kindness. We are taught to be open books, to share everything, and to seek validation from the crowd. So, I followed the script. I believed that my worth was tied to how much I could endure. I thought that if I kept my head down, my turn would come. I treated bad habits like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but impossible to leave. I prioritized everyone else's emergencies over my own peace. I didn't realize that being too nice was actually breaking me. I was waiting for permission to be happy. I was waiting for someday to arrive. But someday is a dangerous word. It tricks you into wasting the present. I was surrounded by people, yet I felt completely alone. I was striving for success, but I had forgotten that striving without purpose is just noise. I accepted the belief that I needed to explain myself to everyone. I thought I needed to be understood to be valid. I didn't realize that being private, staying low-key, and keeping my moves silent was actually a form of self-care. I was just giving pieces of myself away, day after day, until there was nothing left for me. It didn't happen with a bang. It happened with a whisper. A few years ago, I hit a wall. It wasn't a dramatic car crash or a public scandal. It was a Tuesday evening. I sat down on the edge of my bed, and I realized I couldn't get back up. My body felt heavy, like lead. The doctor told me it was stress, that my heart was tired. Not just physically, but emotionally. I was forced to stop. I had to sit still for the first time in 30 years. And in that silence, I looked around for the people I had sacrificed so much for. I looked for the friends I had supported, the colleagues I had covered for, the extended family I had lent money to. The phone didn't ring. The people I had moved mountains for couldn't even manage to step over a puddle for me. It broke my heart, but it opened my eyes. I realized that while I was busy watering their gardens, mine had turned to dust. I saw that I was an option to them, while I had made them a priority. The betrayal wasn't loud, it was quiet, and it was cold. That was the moment the illusion shattered. I realized that salt and sugar look exactly the same, and I had been trusting the wrong people. I had been afraid of losing people, but I hadn't realized I had already lost myself. I understood then that hard times always reveal true friends. And in my hard time, the room was empty. It was the most painful moment of my life, but it was also the most necessary. I had to be broken down so I could be built back up, this time on a foundation of my own making. The regret I feel now isn't about money or career titles. It is about time. Time is the one thing that never waits. It only urges you to catch up or get left behind. I looked back at old photos and saw a stranger. I saw a person who was so worried about the future that he missed the present. I regretted the vacations I didn't take because I was too busy. I regretted the conversations I avoided because I wanted to keep the peace. I realized that some of the best times of my life hadn't happened yet, but I had almost missed the chance to see them because I was looking backward. I learned the hard way that you cannot force people to value you. You cannot beg for love, and you cannot chase friendship. If you have to chase it, it's already gone. I regretted how much I had overthought, overtrusted, and overloved people who didn't have the capacity to love me back. I realized that we create our own heartbreaks through expectation. I expected loyalty because I was loyal. I expected care because I was caring. But the world doesn't work on a barter system. I looked at my bank account, which was fine, and then at my memories, which were poor. I had valued possessions over experiences. I had chased the urgent instead of the important. I finally understood that freedom is the goal, not money. Money is just a tool, but I had made it the master. The hardest consequence was accepting that I couldn't go back. I couldn't reclaim the years I spent stressed over things that didn't matter. I couldn't unsay the angry words spoken in frustration, and I couldn't unhear the silence of those who left me. I had to accept that some things have to end for better things to begin. So, what do we do with this heavy knowledge? We change. We adapt. Here's what I have learned in the quiet aftermath of that storm. First, you must learn to depend on yourself. This isn't cynical, it is necessary. Learn to be alone until you are valued. Even your shadow leaves in darkness, so you must be your own light. Work on yourself to make a fortune in peace, not just a living in dollars. Your relationship with yourself is the longest relationship you will ever have. Make it a good one. Second, keep your life private. The best thing I ever did was stop telling everyone everything. When you build in silence, people don't know what to attack. A small circle and a peaceful mind are worth more than a stadium of applause. Seek respect, not attention. Attention passes quickly, but respect lasts. Third, value your health above your hustle. We often trade our health for wealth, only to spend that wealth trying to buy back our health later. It is a bad trade. Take care of your body. It is the only place you have to live. Remember, your strongest muscle and your worst enemy is your mind. Train it well. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. Fourth, stop expecting others to make you happy. Expectation is the mother of disappointment. If you expect the world to be fair because you are fair, you are fooling yourself. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you put that key in someone else's pocket, you will always be locked out. Finally, forgive your old self. You have changed. You did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. Don't look back, you are not going that way. Mistakes mean you are trying. Perceived failure is just a teacher. If you can dream it, you can do it, but you must start by forgiving the person you used to be. It is never too late to start over. No matter how hard the past was, you can always begin again. You might feel old, or tired, or used up. But remember, the trees lose their leaves every winter only to bloom again in the spring. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to put yourself first. Your direction is more important than your speed. Just keep moving toward the light. If you are breathing, you are still in the game. Do what no one else can do, and you will become what no one else can become. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with the same gentleness you try to give to everyone else. The days that break you are the days that make you. So stand tall. Breathe. It was just a bad day, or a bad year, not a bad life. If this story helped you feel a little less alone, or helped you reflect on your own journey, you may want to hear the next one. We are all walking this path together, and there is always more to learn.